I'm Kathy Unruh. Welcome to First Look at Tampa's redevelopment. Today we are visiting East Tampa CRA for a look at the Business Facade Improvement Program that's helping old businesses look better. Then it's on to Drew Park for the Streetscape and Beautification Project and the Stormwater Improvement Program. That's all coming up next. In East Tampa with Ed Johnson, CRA Redevelopment Manager, to talk about the Business Facade Program. And it's just what it sounds like. You're helping businesses improve their facades.
Exactly. This facility here is a very old, turn of the century building that was built here, and it housed at one time one of the Mason organizations here in East Tampa for a long time, and they've since given up their operation here and moved out. So we now have a company called Design Styles that is going to completely remodel this facility and turn it into a architectural studio for this community.
How do the business people participate? How does the city work with them?
Well, the grant program itself is a matching grant. It's a dollar for dollar matching grant up to a maximum of $50,000, and it's totally to be used on the facade improvement of the building. So it's improving the buildings that face the streetscape to be able to make a difference and hopefully encourage other businesses along the corridor to invest also. Which
is one of the ways that it will help the community as a whole.
Very much so.
And you're improving the Hillsborough Avenue corridor through this.
Hillsborough Avenue is really an exciting corridor because it's the largest and most heavily traveled corridor in our East Tampa CRA. It has approximately 50 to 60,000 cars daily that run east and west on Hillsborough Avenue. In the last 8 or 9 years, we've already started seeing some major investments made on Hillsborough Avenue. And our facade program is adding to that. We have a number of businesses along Hillsborough Avenue, which you will talk to one of them today, that has spent in excess of $300,000 on upgrading their facilities, and our facade program was just one small part of that.
And it's a program that sort of becomes infectious because other business people say, wow, look at how that building has changed, maybe I should get into that program.
Very much so. Matter of fact, you'll also be talking today to Mr. Robert Cole. Mr. Robert Cole's a longtime icon in this community. Matter of fact, in the Tampa Bay region, Mr. Cole has been responsible for assisting other businesses to get access to capital to be able to start businesses. And he heard about the facade program and decided he needed to be an example, and he's going to be remodeling his facility, which is under construction at the present time.
And how long do you think it will take before we see major rehab?
Well, I think you're already seeing it. We started this program several years ago, and it took a little while to get folks really engaged in understanding what it's really all about and being able to make the kind of investments that we're seeing. In East Tampa, we've already granted somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 projects, a little over $300,000, which has really returned about $1.5 million of new investment into the area. So we think it's going to continue, just with this one small program of facade program.
All right, thank you, Ed. Andy Doman is a partner with Design Style. So let's start with what your company does.
We are an architectural firm located currently in Clearwater, very excited about moving to Tampa, and we provide residential and commercial solutions actually throughout the state of Florida.
You are moving to Tampa, to this building right behind us in East Tampa. Why here? Why that building?
We've been looking around for buildings for the last couple of years, and finally came upon this area, really saw the area that was an up and coming, really wanted to make an effort here to have an impact on this community. community. So we had found a great buy on the building and had a lot of character that really draw us to it.
What kind of impact do you expect to have?
We're actually very excited about it. Obviously as an architectural firm, seeing the building change and how we're going to impact the community to have this building completely 100% renovated. Really excited about generating a lot of energy in this area.
And you're moving 17 employees from
Yes,
Clearwater.
that's correct, our entire firm.
And a number of them are USF grads and are
That's
already
correct.
living in this general area?
Yeah, we found the majority of our employees already live in the Hillsborough County area, so it's actually a little bit more convenient for them, and our location is a really good spot for us for where the different areas in the state that we practice.
And what all is it going to take for you to bring this building up to what you want it to be, and what is it going to look like?
It's going to take a lot of work to do. We're basically looking at putting in all new windows, doors, new mechanical systems. Obviously, we're putting a new roof on the building, and just really renovating the building and bringing it back to what it used to look like in 1930. Including, we'll be putting in a parking lot on the east-west side of the building. And I'm just really excited about bringing back the character and life that the building has.
And as an architect, is that what you would ideally envision for East Tampa in general, bringing back?
There's a lot of history here that I think can be brought back to the surface and really get people motivated about this area. So really excited about that.
Well, welcome, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Robert Cole is the owner of the Cole Beauty and Barbershop, and you have a project going on right now improving your building.
Yes,
What are you doing?
We are remodeling the old structure to bring it up to expectation of the community and how we want it to look in the future. So that's what we're doing. We're adding a roof to where it was a flat roof, and now we have the raised roof on there. And so we're doing some other renovations, that's going to make the place really beautiful.
You've been here for quite a while.
I've been here since 1959.
And it's not just a barber shop, it's a beauty shop and a barber shop.
That's right.
Ladies on one side, gentlemen on the other.
Correct.
Is that the way it's been since 1959?
Yes, that's been the way it's been. See, my wife is a beautician. I'm a barber. And we decided that we were going to go into business. And we decided that, hey, it's best for us to be together, but not in the same side, If you're doing the women and I'm doing the men, so we decided that together.
So why did you decide to take advantage of the facade program?
I was talking with Diane Hart and Denise James, and they told me of this program and said you should take advantage of it. And I said, yes, I think I'll be interested. And of course, knowing Diane, she is very forceful. She said, hey, you going to take advantage of it? I said, oh, yes. And immediately she told me, Ed Johnson was at one of the meetings, and I think I spoke to Ed about it after they told me. And Ed said, yeah, so you just let me know, and I let Ed know. And Ed got in touch with Michelle, and we were all from there. I mean, they just moved right in, right away, and came right out and said, hey, do the application, let's go.
So you're having a good time with it?
I'm loving it.
You have a really big decision to make, though.
Yes.
What color?
What color? That's the biggest decision I've had with the entire building. Of course, when the architects brought their first drawing of what it was going to look like, but I failed that. I mean, I had to put my own touches to it, and this is what I came up with. And so this is where we are.
Well, good luck, Mr. Cole, and thanks for taking time to talk with us.
Well, I sure appreciate you coming.
I'm with Maynard Fernandez. We are upstairs in the Speaker Exchange Plaza, and what you did is you took two buildings and combined them into one retail space.
Yes.
Retail and office. The upstairs is office area and downstairs is retail. The property has really been very successful. We're over 80%, and in this market, that's saying something.
80% occupied.
Yes.
So since we're in the office space, let's talk about this for a little bit.
Okay.
You completely redid this. It's beautiful. It's reasonably priced.
Right. And well, when the people, when the community, when the persons rent space, they also get a kitchen area, a conference room, and they get their own office area, and then the offices are $250 a month, all inclusive. And so it's very reasonable. And we have, as you can see, done a really nice job. We have granite tops in the bathrooms and so forth, wallpaper on the walls, and I don't know what else to say other than the fact that it's a beautiful building.
It's very attractive. So you looked first at Speaker Exchange and got that under contract, and then you got the building next door, Trailer Depot. What attracted you to this locale in the first place?
Well, I researched a lot of areas, and we look for an investment where we can obviously make a profit. And this particular area seemed to be underdeveloped, and we were able to acquire the properties at a very favorable price, and we've been quite successful. And and we have three principals that really assisted us in this property. They were of course, the City of Tampa grant program, Platinum Bank, who gave us the financing, provided the financing because three other banks would not. And then J.O. Delato and Sons, who actually did the work. They were the general contractor. And
you say by putting the two buildings together, there have been a lot of advantages, including visibility from the road?
Oh, yes, because people now, when they drive down Hillsborough Avenue, you see the complex rather than just individual buildings. Because we tied it together with the mansard out front, which you see runs continuous across the two buildings. And it makes it look like a really nice shopping plaza, and it is.
All right, well, thank you very much.
All right.
We're in Drew Park with David Connor. He's the Chief Landscape Architect for the Streetscape and Master Beautification Plan here. So the first obvious question is, what are we beautifying? What's it going to look like?
Well, overall, we developed a master plan for the entire community. We're standing on Lois Avenue, which will be one of the first projects to be constructed. But throughout the community, we're going to be improving the streets, adding sidewalks, plantings, new benches, lighting, and so forth in order to improve the overall appearance and quality of Drew Park.
And how long is all this projected to take?
Well, the first two projects will be completed in 2 years. Grady Avenue will be the first project. It'll be completed next year, then Lois Avenue. And then we have other projects that are going to be constructed concurrently, some of them, smaller projects, and then other projects will be developed over a long period of time. Some of it could take as much as 10 to 15 years to complete.
And part of this is you're trying to incorporate a sense of Drew Park's history.
Absolutely. Drew Park, I think when I got involved in Drew Park, one of the things I didn't know was that Drew Park had a history, or I didn't know what was so significant about its history. And that is a fun process, and it's something we want to communicate to people, because Drew Park has a really exciting history of how it was developed as part of Tampa's history and the airport and our Air Force and so forth.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that history.
Well, Drew Park was actually this was all grasslands and pine forest, palmetto, and in the turn of the century, in the early 1900s, a fellow by the name of John Drew bought this property and developed a grass runway. That grass runway ultimately became the first airport in Tampa, and then that became an Air Force base during World War II. After that, it was transferred back to the Airport Authority and became Tampa International Airport.
So how do you celebrate that as you go through designing beautification, new streets?
I think we want to do a couple of things. One, we don't want to over-celebrate the airport aspects of it. We want to celebrate the community of Drew Park. It's progressed a lot over the years. It's a place for a lot of businesses. There's a lot of homes. There's a lot of industry that's here, and we want to celebrate that, and we want to communicate the history. So we'll use for instance, Tampa Bay Boulevard, which is the existing boulevard that was part of the entry to the base when it was a base, to celebrate, as you say, the history. But throughout the rest of the community, we'll weave the ideas of the airport's influences on the overall community through signage and through graphics and so forth.
Public art is going to be part of it.
Public art will be a huge part of this. We hope to, over a long period of time, have an arts program that would create new opportunities for different artists to get involved and to develop new projects, commissioned and competitive type pieces. We want to work with the public arts program with the City of Tampa to engage artists in this community, because that's very important to help with the identity of the community.
Okay, David, thank you. Fenton is the Drew Park CRA Redevelopment Manager. Hello, Jeanette.
Good morning, Kathy.
Part of all this is trying to up the positive image of Drew Park, yes?
Yes, absolutely. We think there's a lot of potential for Drew Park to have a much better image for the public and for the people that work and live here.
And how is that going to be done?
Well, we have a lot of great plans. First of all, we're going to be making some major stormwater improvements, so that'll correct some of the flooding problems that have been experienced here. And then that also presented the opportunity to do some streetscape improvements. So you'll see, once stormwater improvements are completed along Lois and Grady, a lot of landscaping and lots of amenities, pedestrian lighting. We're going to do community gateway markers along Dale Mabry. We're going to have some parks and open space, public art, lots of great things.
Tell us how it's being paid for.
We have something called the Drew Park Tax Increment Financing Fund, and the streetscape improvements are being paid from that fund.
What's been the role of the community in this project?
They have had a major role, probably been the driving force behind this. And of course, their input has been crucial in developing this comprehensive plan for the improvements of Drew Park.
I would imagine they're pretty excited about it.
Yes, they are. We all are.
Okay, thanks, Jeanette. Alex Awad is an engineer with the City of Tampa Stormwater Division. Obviously, we're standing by a ditch. And Alex, this is your job, but most of us don't think a lot about ditches unless they're not working properly.
Right. This project entails about 800 acres that drains through Lois Avenue Ditch and the Grady Avenue Ditch. So, and 20 years ago, when we started modeling and working on resolving the flooding problem at Drew Park, the idea was to pipe in these ditches so they won't be as hazardous and dangerous for the public. So this project actually is going to be in 3 phases. Phase 1 is the pond expansion up by Powhatan, north of Hillsborough Avenue, and that project is underway. It's a 3-acre, originally 3 acres, and now it's going to be about a 7 to 8 acre pond.
Why make it bigger?
Well, we need it for water quality because we're taking away the ditches from Lois and Grady. So by doing so, we have to provide water quality and more retention for the water that was going to be displaced from these ditches that are here. So the ponds have to be much larger.
So the runoff will actually go into the ponds now, as opposed to here?
The runoff will go into a pipe system that we were going to pipe in these ditches with on Lois and Grady and the abutting streets, and then take it directly up to the pond, and then eventually it'll pop off and outfall into the Henry Canal.
So back to the person who doesn't really think about how these things work. What are the advantages to doing that way?
The advantages of covering up the ditches is safety. I mean, for one, it's safety, and it's going to beautify the area much better than what it is. And the good thing is that it's going to provide for treatment in one location, and we could eliminate the treatment and maintenance of these ditches in this this part of the 800-acre basin.
And safety, because anybody could fall in, or a car could, we're close to the road and there's a steep drop off.
Exactly. We've had accidents happen. As you can see, some of the guard railing down there has been hit by cars or trucks, and it is absolutely a need to be done.
Cost of the project, how it's being paid for?
Well, the 3 phases is going to cost about $22 million, and it's a joint effort between the city, the CRA, the city stormwater, CRA, SwiftMud, Southwest Florida Water Management District, and DEP. So the split is $1 million from DEP, about 11 million from SwiftMud, and the rest is from the city of Tampa, and a portion of, from the CRA also.
Anything else we should know about it?
Once it's done, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So Drew Park, in keeping with what the mayor's objectives are for businesses and residences in this part, is going to be a great thing to have.
All right, we look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, and please be with us next time as we take a look at the redevelopment activities that are reshaping Tampa on City of Tampa Television. Your city, your station.